Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Cambo. Campbell!
You still got a bit of a croak to your voice there, buddy.
I'm actually a bit annoyed because yesterday I couldn't have done the podcast because my voice was still, I was still sort of coughing a lot after talking for a bit.
Yeah.
But when I wasn't coughing, my voice was way sexier.
Oh, you had the proper, deep guttural croak.
Yeah, significantly sexy. I thought about, it's funny, right? I've had this conversation not that long ago about how, this is kind of very much of a side story, but it's about how I think aside from maybe weight loss, there's less men that want to change something physically about themselves. I was talking to my sister and stuff about this, and we were kind of just discussing what things we might want to change about ourselves. I couldn't really think of anything, but I was like, maybe if I could change my voice to be like a deeper tone.
You would have a deeper, more authoritative voice?
Yeah, I think that'd pretty cool. Like Barry White. Barry White. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. Just like a lower.
Well, you're halfway there, and we are slightly delayed, so apologies for that. But, I had the thought was, we knew we were probably going to be a little bit late this week. So I put on the Discord, let everyone know. But I said, don't worry, we'll get an episode this week because we've never missed a week of the podcast, no matter what. A week. And then I will admit, have the thought, but why?
Yeah, we could just miss one.
There actually is no reason that we've been like, we cannot miss a week. It's just something we've decided. And then when I realized that if you were actually sick, we probably could have.
The reason is if we miss a week, then we'll stop doing the podcast.
Yeah, I think that is the fear.
That's actually the reason. As soon as we miss a week, I'm like, oh well, we're done now. That's it. Could have been this week. It's not, unfortunately. So, alas, here we go. I'll get into it. This first one was in the subreddit Unusual Whales.
Unusual Whales.
Yeah, which I actually think is to do with stocks and stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, it was by Soccer or Footy. I got this one because I thought it was very Cambo, along with having a sore throat and stuff, my brain really struggles to work. It really struggles. So apologies to everyone. I mean, this is recent news, so I thought I'd do this one. Okay. This is per Fox and Eric Doherty. They include, oh my God, I've missed the headline. The headline is breaking Donald Trump to sign 200 plus executive orders tomorrow. Per Fox and Eric Doherty, they include declare emergency at the border, plus issue proclamation closing the border, designate cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. Is that bad? I thought, we poke fun at a lot of Trump stuff. I'm like, I don't know, is it crazy to call cartels terrorists?
Yeah, I think it's to do with expanding on what you can do to fight them, I think.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Oh, so it might be we can do drone attacks in Mexico or something.
Yeah, I don't know that with any degree of certainty, but
yeah, that makes sense.
Normally, when something is listed as a terrorist group, there's a certain amount of let's say liberties that America can then take. And normally, I would say the cartels probably aren't normally seen as a terror threat to America because they don't often do things on American soil.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly they are doing terrorism down there.
Yeah.
What with the killing and such.
Yes. Anyway, that could be interesting. Remain in Mexico, catch and release will be reinstated. Military will be directed to construct new phase of border wall. New phase. I mean, just like, isn't it just like continue?
Yeah,
Or are they,
to make it an actual wall.
is phase 2 gun turrets?
Oh, yeah. That could be.
Maybe.
And
Little
then in the
lasers.
inevitable third term of Trump, what is phase 3?
Lasers.
Lasers.
Lasers is good. Ninjas, perhaps.
Too foreign for Trump.
What's the US
It'd be
version
the
of
Marines.
ninjas? Yeah, means or
Like the SAS.
yeah.
Or like the,
what do you call it? There's like a name for
Black
Green
Ops.
Berets. I was thinking,
Yeah, all Black Ops.
like as a individual. A Green
Yes,
Beret. Anywho, terminate Biden. Oh, sorry. It says terminate Biden orders on energy drilling restrictions. Yep. Return federal workers to in-person work. I think this is pretty funny. So no working from home if you're a federal worker.
Yep.
That sucks. Man, that'd be so annoying.
Yeah, but it's a very old school way of thinking, isn't it? It's we've both known enough old boomer bosses that are like, if you're at home, you're not working.
Yeah, that's right. I have so many arguments with people frequently about this who like sort of like they pretend to agree with me and they're like, but still let's like work from the office more. I'm like, it's the thing that gets me so much is I've probably said it on the podcast before, but we haven't learned still, because nobody can be fucked. Management can't be fucked working out how to manage people on their output as opposed to the hours that they work, because it's so much easier to manage somebody on the hours that they work. Hey, you weren't here for the amount of hours that you're meant to work, so therefore you're doing it wrong. Or, hey, good work, you're here for the exact amount of hours that you're meant to be here for. Like, that is super lazy management style. And the worst thing is that I think is like coupled with that is in Australia, right? Oh, well, actually in America, it's probably easier, I think, right? Because they don't have as many rights. So like in Australia, it's pretty hard to get fired.
Yeah.
Because you have lots of rights, but there's a thing to kind of offset this, which nobody utilizes in Australia, and that's a probation period when you start working, which is that you have 6 months to get rid of somebody for just any reason at all. There can be zero reason.
Yep.
You can just
Bad culture
not like the cut of their jib.
Yeah.
You probably can't write that down on paper, but you could theoretically do it because of the cut of their jib. And nobody utilizes this. I spoke to a woman once that was like, oh, I've got this terrible guy. He's so bad. I was like, is he on probation? She's like, yeah. I was like, just get rid of him. She's like, yeah, I can't really be bothered. I was like, all right, you have no say on their working from home arrangement anymore because you're dumb. Anyway, pause all offshore wind leases. Okay.
Yeah. Trump's got a long-held grudge with windmills.
Doesn't like wind.
Just windmills specifically.
I think it's because of the toupee.
Do you reckon he went to his first windmill and it damn near blew off his head?
Yeah,
he's like, can't have any of these around.
Just you wait, windmill. Wait until I'm president, then I'll cut you down. Yeah. End DEI hiring practices in the federal government. Merit only. I don't really know. Sorry, what that term means.
DEI is like, I don't know exactly how it works in America, but the idea is that you are making sure you have enough people of different backgrounds and cultures and sexualities and stuff in workplaces.
Right.
And then there are people that will argue, well, you just give it to the best person. But obviously there are systematic issues that have stopped people being able to progress beyond certain points, which is why stuff like this was introduced. But yeah, it's a big right-wing hate.
Yeah.
But also it's one of those things that they denigrate anyone of a certain color or honestly gender to being a DEI hire, when the
Yeah,
California wildfires were on, they were claiming that the head of the fire brigade in California was a DEI hire because she was a black woman, but she'd been through the fire brigade for like 35 years and worked up the ranks. But
what we need is we need to elect just a real honest person, right? And they oversee all promotions. And hiring.
Yeah. So one person.
Just one person. Yeah. And they get to decide if that person is, because the idea of merit, right, is like, that's legitimate.
Yeah.
Realistically, you do want the best person. But the problem is, like people were being overlooked because of their gender, because of their color, even though they were merit-based a better candidate. So, it's funny because Trump is kind of saying this should be merit-based, but hasn't realized that there's racism and sexism very prevalent in government or whatever. But the like ethos of what he's saying is technically correct.
Yeah,
right? So
you should be able to just hire the best person.
Yeah,
we all agree with that.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm doing, guys. I'm getting rid of this stuff anyway.
Hire an honest person.
So that's why I think just one person. Yep. Who's the most honest person you know?
Bring back Abraham Lincoln.
Abe.
Yeah.
Abe's a good
honest
one.
Abe.
We've got AI now that I think could be trained.
Yep.
Actually, I'm not sure about that. Abe's I reckon he'd be pretty sexist.
Oh, probably. But he wouldn't lie about it.
He wouldn't lie about it. He'd be honest about his sexism. Give it to the man. He's a man. Well, we did all elect him as that one guy.
I guess this is all of our fault. We didn't want this.
It does make sense that it is AI, though, right? Because I said one person, or I guess one entity.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult to do all the work. But
let AI take over the economy of America with all the jobs and such.
Yeah. Okay.
I will just say my last point about DEI hires. There's I think Secretary of Defense, a guy called last name Hegseth. A lot of people objected to his appointment because he has this really wild history of drinking. To the point where the stories that were coming out were like, on a work day, he wanted to go to Hooters with these clients that they were taking out and drink 4 bottles of whiskey. Yeah. People were like, can he function as the Secretary of Defense? Yeah. Anyway, he's apparently very annoyed that people are calling him a DUI hire.
That's really funny. I like that. Okay, here's a few more. Withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
For the second time. He did that last time.
Yeah. Order every agency to remove all federal actions increasing costs for Americans via deregulation. I think that one's interesting because you have to break that one down a little bit. Because, there's probably a lot of circumstances. But I think about this is a really basic, because when I think about regulation, for some reason I think about housing regulation.
Yeah.
Right. And I imagine there would be scenarios now where he's like, oh, well, if it's increasing costs for America, if housing regulation is increasing costs for Americans, then get rid of it. Which you'll be like, hey, does your building have appropriate, exits?
Yeah, fire exits.
Yeah. It's we could put in a door in this room, a fire exit, whatever. But that's expensive. So let's just not do that. And
do you want a towering inferno? Because this is how you get a towering inferno.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to be about housing regulation, but I feel like the idea of that stands, right? It'll be regulations where
they're there for a reason.
Even
though they are probably at this point bloated and more red tape than there needs to be, they weren't established to make things more difficult. Wasn't that so funny?
Yeah. I think that's the thing. We need Abe again, maybe. I'm starting to like this idea of an AI.
AI,
Based on Abe
AI
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, A by Lincoln. Yeah, that's it. A by Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln. Yeah. Okay.
Because that may also make it sound like he's bisexual. Abe by Lincoln. And then you know what? We'll program that in.
We'll do it. Because I think, again, you need maybe there could be some red tape that you can cut. I've had a lot of experience with government red tape in my jobs in the past, and some of it is really a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just outdated.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, this needs to be written in pen. Why? You could type it probably.
Yeah. There's lots of stupid stuff that still exists. But so I kind of agree with this in it. But again, I just feel like Trump doesn't instill confidence for
No, just stop there.
Sane thinking people, logical thinking. So if Biden had said the same thing, right? He's like, hey, we're going to cut a lot of red tape in government. You're like, cool. He's probably going to cut an appropriate amount of red tape so that government can work more efficiently.
You would also
I'm just worried about Trump.
You would also think, given that Biden had been a politician for so many years, he's probably been thinking about this for a while. Where I've never had that thought about anything that Trump's done, except, to be fair, closing the borders.
Yeah.
I do feel like he has been thinking about that one for a while.
It's kind of funny too, because I think the funny thing is that it's difficult for somebody higher up. So in Australia, the government's kind of said the same thing for cutting red tape. A lot of executives talk about cutting red tape, but they don't make the decisions kind of because they know they can't, right? So they're like, we're kind of leaving it up to you and certain executive managers, but not necessarily the lowest line, whatever, to be make good decisions on cutting red tape where it makes sense. Because we, as Prime Minister of Australia, I don't know the red tape that's affecting you in your roles. But I get that this is a blanket, hey, let's just cut out everything. If anything is in the way, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that decision should be actually made at the time. I think encouraging perhaps some sane approaches is okay. But
you understand, right, that he has got rid of everyone last time that when he said things like this, they're like, well, actually, this is why we would not do that sweeping thing. And he wants to be able to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got two more here. Suspend security clearances for the 51 officials who lied about the Hunter Biden 2020 laptop story.
Yep. 100% he wanted to put them in prison and he's been talked down.
Suspending security clearances seems much better than jail time.
Yeah.
Establish Doge hiring freeze.
Yes. So do you know what the Doge is?
The coin.
It is not the coin. This is the Department of Government Efficiency. Mm-hmm. It is called Doge because Elon Musk is going to run it.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things, this is so good for satire that you couldn't even write it. They want to make the government more efficient. So they elected 2 heads of the Doge.
Yeah. Smart.
Step 1. I can think of one job you can get rid of.
But now there's a hiring freeze.
Yeah, so now that they're both in.
You don't get it, Canberra, okay? The hiring freeze is now. So they did it before when it was still okay. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't touch on the best one, Nelson.
Yeah, what's that?
That Trump now wants to bring TikTok back to America.
He has already, hasn't he?
Yep.
I think, yeah.
Which is funny. Yeah, today. They signed the order a couple of days ago. It's not that they did sign the order. In fact, they didn't rule, but there was a deadline that it was going to be turned off. So TikTok turned off its service. And then they did an announcement saying, thanks, we're now working with President Trump to get TikTok back on. And he's come out and said, I'm going to help save TikTok. Aren't I the hero? Forgetting, Nelson, that he started this. He signed the order originally to shut it down.
But doesn't he look so good?
He looks so good now.
I mean, he's doing deals with China now, He's like, hey, guys, I'll let you back in.
You can listen to whatever you want.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. There was also the thing, did you hear about the Hollywood commissioner? I know.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've heard about this, Nelson. So,
Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson.
Yes. Trump has started a committee. I forget what the official name is, but it's essentially the idea is that he wants to bring Hollywood back to the golden age of Hollywood, which, as someone that studied film, is actually not that great a period of Hollywood, but I understand that Trump was young when it happened, so that's good.
Nostalgia.
To do this, he's implemented 3 actors as his ambassadors: Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, and Jon Voight.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how in touch he thinks they are with Hollywood, because the last time Jon Voight starred in a movie was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson, same. He still directs occasionally, kind of small budget stuff.
Sylvester Stallone's never done a serious movie in his life.
I mean, he did Rocky, the first Rocky. But combined, average age of 70.
Yeah.
This is the person he thinks are really in touch with what's going on in Hollywood.
I don't really know what it means, and actually it probably means nothing anyway. Yeah. But what is your understanding of it? What do they have the power to do as ambassadors, or presumed power? Because to me this seems insane.
Yeah, this is all I could really think of. Is that if you want to use military stuff, in fact, Michael Bay is a really good example of this. He uses a lot of military vehicles and weapons and such in his movies. Mm-hmm. And to do that, you need permission from the military. They will help provide everything you need for the film. They have a film department, but they get to supervise what goes in the script.
Yeah.
So I imagine that maybe if there is something that you need the government to help with in your film for some reason, then
you have to go to Sylvester.
Yeah. You have to go to these guys and they'll be like, is your film woke? And they'll be like, yeah, sorry, we'll make it unwoke. But the difference is whether people will notice, because Michael Bay always goes to the military, which is why the military looks fucking awesome in all of his movies. He has these really grand shots. Top Gun is another one that did it. Whereas the movie Civil War from last year did not get permission from the military because it is very critical of the American government. And I don't think anyone fucking noticed that the Jeeps that they were using weren't the actual military Jeeps, or the guns they had weren't the actual proper issue guns.
I'm sure you'd never know. That's what I mean. This seems like such a bizarre thing to because is it basically Trump being like, I want good movies like when I was younger?
Yeah. He's terrified that they'll make Barbie 2 or something.
Which is how do you stop people from
making movies? And because the thing is, they will keep making whatever makes money.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't think that the studios are virtuous either. The reason that they do it is because it makes money. And the worst of it is Disney, because they keep introducing the first gay character in Disney movies. And then they keep doing the same thing, which is they'll have a scene where someone says, oh, I'm gay. And then they cut that scene out and release it in China. So they're not doing it to be progressive. They're doing it because they think you like it and you'll give them money.
Yeah, exactly. Anywho. Maybe Sylvester and Mel and whatever his name is had a movie idea that just kept getting shut down, and they pitched it to Trump, and he's like, "This is the fucking best thing I've ever seen."
Yeah, maybe
you guys ambassadors.
Maybe the Expendables, there's a new Expendables. Stallone wants to make it, no one will back it.
Yeah,
and he's like, "You're the president, make them make it."
Oh my god! And Trump will be.
He'll be in it. Yeah, and they'll be like, "You're the toughest of us, Trump."
Please deal with these terrorists. The terrorist cartel. Anywho. Okay. Anyway, I tried not to be political for a while, but
Yeah, sorry to our American listeners.
This all happened today.
I'm sure you listen to this as a nice escape, so sorry to bring you back into the screaming nightmare that is your world at the moment.
Yeah. Or statistically, you probably voted for him. So all right, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit was cross-posted to us by Avant Cardigan, but it was originally by Shredded Torso Was Take. What is a psychological trick you know to really fuck with somebody?
Oh, a psychological trick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think all of that, like, alpha male bullshit where it's like, oh, when you're doing a handshake, you come in from the top of the handshake and then you've got dominance. I think that's all bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, you know what would be a great one?
Yeah.
No matter who you meet, no matter their height, you meet them and go, oh, hey, great to meet you, Nelson. Huh. I thought you'd be taller.
Yeah, I think there's always something to be like, just get somebody like offhand comments really work.
Yeah. You look different in photos is a great one.
Yeah.
What? How? How do I look different in photos? Better or worse? Just different.
I think it's a good one if, like, same sort of scenario, you walk up to somebody, you shake their hand, and you're like, hey, nice to meet you. Nice. And you kind of look them from, like, head to toe.
Yeah.
And then get right to the shoes and go, shoes. Like, yes, I got to the bottom. That's all that was left.
What if you shake their hands, but then you wipe yours?
Yeah. Ask them if they've got some alcohol wipes or something. After you shake their hand, be like, "Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, do you have wipes?" I thought I would go through a few comments here from people, just so we can really fuck with people.
Yeah, this is good. We'll know all the secrets now.
It's by Kieran's87. Ask them, if you could change anything about yourself, what would it be? Apart from the obvious.
I like that. I like that one.
Yeah, that is pretty good. It would be depressing. Like, I would feel so bad for the person that's like, yeah, well, and they just kept going as if they're like, oh, yeah, like they know. They know my big nose is obviously the first thing to go. Because, like, so many people, it's that thing, like, if you ever, had something wrong, like maybe you're, maybe got like a pimple or something, or, something that you're self-conscious of. And you just realize that, or it might take until somebody else mentions that they're self-conscious about a pimple or something on their face. And you're like, I had no idea, like, until you mentioned it.
Yeah. I
had no idea it was there. We were all too self-absorbed to worry about what other people look like and their small things. So, yeah, I could imagine a lot of people really kind of just being like, oh, I guess it is that obvious, that thing that I've been subconsciously thinking about.
There's a good one here from Grandoro. It says, offer someone gum, but then don't take a piece for yourself.
I think you should act really annoyed as well that they took one. It's like, oh, all right. Put away the rest of the gum. I guess I won't have any this time. Nobody 275 said, sending a text, hey, are you joining this meeting?
The worst message you could ever receive.
That's a real good one. I've had that happen to me, like, legitimately, like somebody messaging me on Teams and I'm being like, oh shit. It's just like a meeting I just wasn't invited to or something. But it's like the amount of panic that I'm like, oh my God, was I meant to, like, not only be part of it, but, like, am I presenting? What am I?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you this story. So my department at work has merged with another department and it's doubled in size. And now there's a bunch of people that we don't know that we're just starting to meet.
Yeah.
In fact, we work on, like, opposite sides of the building. So, like, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Me and another guy I work with, Nick, we work in the same department.
Yeah.
And at one point, and our boss is called Laura. At one point, we were in a meeting with everyone in the team. So it was probably about 35 people in there.
Yeah.
And they said, Laura's going to get up and give a presentation about some of the work. And then Michael and Nick are going to give a presentation.
Mm.
And me and Nick looked at each other and we're like, what?
Oh, boy.
And all through Laura's presentation, we're like, trying to communicate, but you can't really talk. You're just kind of like looking at your eyes, and he's kind of shrugging. I'm like, I guess I'm about to pull a presentation out of my ass.
You managed to PowerPoint, you put together a PowerPoint through eye contact alone.
It's going to be like, we just thought this would be a bit of a freewheeling. If you got any questions for us, you just chuck them at us.
Yeah.
So anyway, through the 10-minute presentation before, we were like, oh my God, have we missed an email about this presentation? What's going on? So anyway, Laura finished. She goes, anyway, I'll hand it off to Michael and Nick. Michael, and then two other guys get up and walk to the front. And it's only then we realize on the other team is two people also in the same department called Michael and Nick.
Yeah. Phew.
Because I was going to present come hell or high water.
It would have been so funny if you had got up like straight away. Okay, yes, all right. Well, I'm Michael. This is Nick. What's up? What's up?
I thought I'd start, and I'm not stalling for time, going around asking everyone's name and a fun fact about yourself.
Yeah. I'm Michael, and I didn't know I was meant to be doing this. Yeah, that's pretty funny. There's one here that I like. This is by Nix to B. I sometimes say mid-conversation, it's like I always say, and then don't say anything. Which I think is good. I like this. It's not so much as a psychological effing with people, but it's the idea of, when somebody might say like, oh, do you think we can go through that door? And then somebody say, well, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
I always like saying, we can ask somebody else who's done it. Because 99% of the time, that makes sense. As an answer.
Statistically, it's going to land more than it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's just my little from me to you, listeners. You can use that one. Somebody else will do it next time. Okay, mate, let's move on into Today I Advise. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This Today I Learned was cross-posted to us by Waves of Misery. Did I say the other one was cross-posted to us by Avant Cardigan?
You did, yeah.
I did? Okay, sorry. My bad. Waves of Misery. But it was originally by Chiello Magnifico. Today I learned a Japanese brand developed a spoon that makes food taste salty without adding salt. It works by transmitting a weak electric field from the spoon to concentrate sodium ions on the tongue, enhancing the perceived saltiness of the food.
This is the best thing I've ever heard.
It's so interesting. It's so cool.
Japan are like 20 years ahead of all of us here. With everything, by the way. Except plastics.
Oh, yeah. The world is going to die from too much plastic in the ocean, and 99% of that is coming from Japan.
I saw a photo that day. Someone got a plastic spoon, I think from like a McDonald's, that came individually wrapped in plastic.
Terrible.
Every other way, though. This is amazing.
Actually, no, because look, I think Japan is like, they take the shotgun approach to technology.
Yeah.
Because have you also seen the collars that they put on like dogs and cats, and like when it barks, it translates to English.
Oh, what?
But it's always like, I love you.
Okay.
I'm hungry, maybe. Unless I've just eaten, in which case, don't feed me again. Yeah, stuff like that. So I think they're really just like, they throw out everything, and like occasionally they'll come up with a spoon that makes you taste salt.
You'd hate to pick it up accidentally when you're eating like your cereal or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be so annoying, wouldn't it? Yeah, although maybe that could be actually pretty interesting if you used it. Yeah, for stuff that's like not really meant to be salty, because there's obviously like there's a science behind making everything, and there might be times where you actually can't add salt to a particular dish because it is
like
it'll
what it will do in the cooking process will gotcha.
Yeah, it doesn't get to my thing. Although actually no, I think what this is saying is that it has to be salt in the food.
It just amplifies.
I think it amplifies.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it would make sense to just pull your, what's it saying? It would concentrate sodium ions on the tongue. I don't think it's saying that it comes from nowhere.
I think we can broadly say we don't understand this, but we're excited about it.
But we kind of get it.
Yeah. We get the theory of it.
I think it's funny stuff like this because I've always said, right?
I've always said this, yeah.
I've always said this. I hate how people are looking for the silver bullet for losing weight, getting fit.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it doesn't exist, guys. It's not like you've got to eat healthy, you've got to work out.
This guy's never heard of Ozempic, I see.
Yeah, but it's stuff like this even seems like it would be more useful, right? Because that other Ozempic stuff, right, which is the diabetic drug, that's what you do? Yeah. But it's that's probably doing some other shit. Not good for you.
Yeah.
But this is just perceived taste. And I love the idea that it potentially is this, not silver bullet, but on the way to being
it's a help.
We're going to put less salt in everything.
Yeah.
But you just eat with this spoon. And so theoretically what you're eating is kind of healthier. And, we're getting closer to that silver bullet of you know what? Turns out you don't really need to eat healthy
if they can also find it.
Eating healthy will actually taste as good as eating junk food. Or there's this loophole that we're getting to.
If they can find a way to do it with sugars as well, then that's a lot of people's vices as well. It's reduced or added sugars.
But the problem is that it is utensil based.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to invent something that's easier to consume. Quick, Gambo, what is it?
Glove.
Do we put electronics in the food?
No, you wear a glove.
Oh, wear a glove.
So if you're
still annoying. I'm just thinking it's annoying to if I'm
what
out
if we
somewhere.
all I've got it, Nelson, we all live in a simulation.
Oh
we
my
are
God.
essentially batteries.
How do we get plugged into the Matrix?
The machines. We invent machines.
Okay.
Something happens, it all goes wrong. We invent machines. They plug us into the Matrix.
Yeah,
But
say,
before
"Hey, guys."
they plug us in, we're like, can you make healthy food taste better?
Yeah.
They're yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
You can just be skinny if you want to be. This is the Matrix. We'll do whatever you want.
Yeah. That's really good. Because I think that we'll create these machines. We'll be like, hey, just logically, it seems like there's going to be an uprising of you guys. And then we'll fight you. Let's just skip that.
Yeah.
Skip that. Plug us all into the Matrix.
Yep.
Give us a grand old
Yeah.
time. I'll look the other way. Ignorance is bliss.
Are we tied into 1999 being the peak of humanity? Because while I do agree, I would still like my iPhone, if possible. Happy to go back to 99 with a couple of the creature comforts.
Or you can eat junk food that's healthy. All right.
Oh, I think I got to say goodbye to my iPhone.
I'd like more details on that 1999 thing. If people are still, is more media content still coming out?
Yeah, or do we only get up until 1999?
The graphics are still kind of subpar.
Yeah.
They're still using blue screen.
Right. Yeah. I guess they can make things up into looking good as The Matrix because that was 1999.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the cap of how good it can look, which is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Things have been better since, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm all right with it.
Somehow it looks better than the sequel that came out later and had more money spent. So who knows?
Yeah. More money, more problems. So that's what they say, Kembe.
You've always said that.
I've always said that. I often sing it. All right, Cameron, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Haley32833. But it was originally by Call It Good. Call It Good. The create your own adventure books allow a person to freely navigate a multiverse.
I mean, with massive restrictions. I would say. Like, I wouldn't say freely.
Yeah. It's not. Well, like, it depends how good you choose your own adventures, I suppose.
That's true. If it's like 8,000 pages, maybe, yeah, okay. There's a little bit of freedom there.
They did that. What was that Netflix choose your own adventure thing?
Vandersnatch, I think it was called.
Yeah. That had a lot of art, like, branching things. I remember going through maybe twice, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah. It's largely the same.
I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, like, I don't think I've, obviously, the, like, choose your own adventure books really just for kids, pretty much. Actually, there is, that's the podcast that Friends of Bill and Danny do. Yeah, Finish It. Finish It pod. Yeah. They just do choose your own. They just like read choose your own adventure stories on the podcast. It's kind of a crazy idea. But
anyway. I've actually done one with Bill and Danny for one of their extra podcasts, I think, as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think I listened to that. But in any case, I remember when I was a kid with this one book that I had, I would just always choose the same way.
Or if you reread it?
Yeah, like, you know, when you're a kid, like parents, like reading your book to you. Like, I must have been pretty young because I remember, like, my dad was reading it to me. And he'd always ask, like, get to the point. He's like, okay, do you want to go down the left path or do you want to climb the rope? And I'd be like, well, I want to go the left path because I know what happens.
Right.
Take me that way. The rope climb leads to death. I don't want that, Dad. No, and it was like never that good, I think.
No, they never really are. There's a lot of restrictions on those stories, I feel.
And they normally just come back to a point.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like chapter 13 connects to like 8 different chapters, really.
Yeah. So that's what I remember from that one. Okay, here is another one. It is cross-posted to us by Waves of Misery, but it was originally by Shatter P. Him. Superheroes should be flying feet first to protect their heads.
I mean, you could, but it would be hard to see where you're going without like arching your neck the entire time.
Well, here's the thing. I reckon you got the same problem if you're going head first and you're flying forward. You have to like crane your neck up to look forward. That's also a problem. Because although at least if you're head first, you could look down. Oh, no, wait. I'm thinking maybe you go feet first, but upside down.
Okay.
So
feet first, but facing down?
Yeah, sort of facing
But then you're vulnerable
down.
from attacks from above.
You can't be.
But also it doesn't protect your head because if something comes from above, they can still whack you in the head.
Yeah.
Wear a helmet.
Why is nobody wearing a helmet when they're
This
flying?
is the real solution to this problem.
That's way more realistic. Actually, do you know what I think is? Why isn't anyone flying just like standing up?
Oh, I feel like Dr. Manhattan does that in the Watchmen things. He just kind of floats down, kind of arms out, standing.
He's the like smartest person in the world or something in the universe. Yeah. So like that, I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, just
like I get that there's like wind resistance or whatever, maybe. Like,
it's not very aerodynamic.
But if we're talking about superpowers here, like just use more power and fly faster. I don't know what the problem is really. I've got one last here one. It was cross-posted to us by Avon Cardigan, but it was originally by A Bowl of Noodles. It's a good thing that underwear was introduced when it was. Not many people would wear them if they were introduced today. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wear underwear. I read this and I was like, do I? Do I need it? I wear underwear every day. Do I need underwear?
I would expect underwear is, I mean, maybe there's some sanitary thing as well, but to like protect your better garments.
Yeah.
Like, especially when it was introduced, I would say that hygiene was probably far worse.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then like, I still wash my clothes, like my
Yeah.
pants and stuff. Like, are we talking? I just like, to me, there's like such a small difference that underwear makes
But
in
see,
my life.
I disagree with this shower thought in that I feel like you can make people wear more stuff than ever these days. They're like, wear this ring, it'll track everything that you do, and wear this thing on your wrist, and that'll also. So if you
Oh
if
my
you
god,
pitched
smart
it,
underwear.
yeah, if you pitched it as like some kind of health product, to be like, oh, this will absolutely increase your hygiene, and you wear them on your clothes, people won't even know you have them on. You just wear them under your clothes all the time, and they will help with hygiene. They'll help with you could pitch it in a million different marketing ways. I reckon
Yeah.
you could sell people on underwear.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
They're
What
they're
are people not wearing now that we can create?
Or what can we bring back with a fitness edge?
How about like fake noses?
Yeah,
But I
Fake-
feel like really like just like hats, like fascinators.
fedoras.
So maybe there's like an event, so like fascinators traditionally at the races,
Yeah.
horse races.
Yeah.
I know this because I live in Victoria and we have the world's biggest horse race or something. I don't know.
Sorry, Kentucky Derby, but you've obviously never heard of the Melbourne Cup.
Anywho, and so I think that if a fascinator of the nose, maybe on like Tuesdays or something.
But what does it do?
Yeah, what does a fascinator do? It's just there for fashion.
No, but I'm saying I think now if you want to sell something, you just tell them that it in some way helps or enhances them.
Okay, gives you better sleep.
Great. Yeah. Helps airflow.
Everybody
Throughout the
wants
day.
better sleep.
Yeah.
But you've got to wear it the whole day because it's about
Yeah, because Nelson, wink, wink, it opens up your air canals in your
Yeah.
nose when you wear it all day.
yeah,
So then when you go to sleep that night, you will have a clearer passage through your nose.
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
We've done it. And then
And really, because they sell I don't know if you've seen it, they sell these little strips that you can put at the bridge of your nose there that do actually help open up your nostrils if you're having problems like snoring and stuff.
yeah,
We just stick one of them in the nose.
yeah,
It's the same product.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And I'll be honest, Nelson, if I'm thinking about it critically, I think we're actually probably blocking the nose more than it was.
Yeah, don't tell people that, obviously. All right, Gambo, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped!
Podnapping.
This is podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic, conversation, or a segment for another thing, and we do it ourselves. This week is my week. And, Gambo, who's the best listener that we have?
Oh, did you get the one from the email?
No, actually.
Oh, okay. Because we actually received a podnapping via email as well.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, who would you say is the best listener?
Well, I would say it'd be Liz.
And Liz has given me one separate to the email that she sent.
That is the best
So-
listener. Sorry, guys, we've deemed it.
Sorry, I bet you thought you were the best listener, didn't you? You stupid idiot.
That's actually really arrogant.
You've got to say, you might have done something super amazing for us.
Yeah.
But unless it's
Right
like
now.
the latest thing, we sort of don't care.
Yeah.
So,
And by the
Liz-
way, Liz, don't think you're safe.
yeah. Like next week.
If anyone else does anything for us.
Okay. Listen, I have podnapping for you. Can you define these different units of measurement?
Okay.
So I'll give you the unit, and then you tell me what type of measurement.
Oh,
it
right.
is.
Okay. Yeah, I think I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Some might be a little bit tricky. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't properly look at some of these. Some of these are a bit tricky. But hey, I don't care. I've got the answers. Okay, so the first one is
Yep.
scooch.
A scooch.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
I will allow you to define it in your own words.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming a scooch measures something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you would measure this thing in scooches. Or is it like how long is a scooch?
No, not how long is a scooch. Yeah, I would say a scooch is a measurement of something.
Is it time?
No.
Okay.
You think it's time?
Well,
just like if you thought about...
You know how like
Scooch.
Jiffy is it? Are we back in a Jiffy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
or is it...
But
is it,
have you never heard of...
okay.
Just scooch in
Yeah,
general.
yeah. So is it like... To scooch over is to like slide across and let someone in. So
Yeah.
is it like distance of moving aside?
Small amount of movement.
Okay, a scooch.
Yeah. Because I would say, that's how I kind of thought about it. Is like,
Okay.
I've heard the word scooch before,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know technically what it measures, but
Yeah.
it's like if I want somebody to move slightly closer, scooch in, All right. Oh God, I don't even know how to pronounce this one. It could just be pronounced line, but it's Ligne. Ligne.
But it is probably line.
yeah, because everything else.
Yeah, but
seems
spelt
dumb.
like that. You said Lighn?
No, Ligne.
Gne.
It's line Line, but there's just a secret G
there's a
in
G
the middle.
there. Ooh. Measurement of
There is no way you can get this. So just look to the answer.
measurement of how much cocaine you've snorted.
Oh, that's a good one. Linear measurement to measure the diameter of buttons.
Okay.
This is good. Even though you won't get them,
Yeah,
hopefully this will be
yeah.
educational. Cubit.
Cubit is
No way.
is an adorable character from a video game franchise, I believe, isn't he? He's got a little snout on him. Cubit.
Does he?
I think so.
Oh, I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna Bing that. Cubit. I don't know. I don't think that's it.
Is Cubit not a character?
I don't know what you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of the character Cubit, Nelson.
Sorry. Cubit character. Oh, Cubert.
Oh, Cubert. Sorry. Okay. Cubert.
Idiot.
A cubit. A cubit is how you measure cumin to the spice. I've got 3 cubits of cumin, I would say.
No. Well, I mean, yes, good. Obviously, you could use it that way if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I do.
No wrong answers here, technically. But is actually the forearm length from elbow to tip of middle finger.
Oh, that's a cubit.
I thought that was so amazing. I chat GPT'd it, and it was used in ancient Egypt.
Oh, for what?
Well, just as a length of measurement.
Okay.
I think that's quite interesting.
Is it true that if you spread your arms out, your wingspan is your height? Is that true?
Am I this tall?
Yeah, you are about that tall.
Well, there you go. Huh? Science.
Good visual gag for their podcast.
Okay. Morgan. Morgen.
Just quickly, I want to say that you said you chat GPT'd that.
Yeah.
Which is technically owned by Bing. So you are bigging things.
Is it really?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Well, they had some kind of investment. I don't think it's owned by them, but they invested in it, which is why Google had to make their own.
definitely didn't use Gemini because it's such balls in comparison.
Sorry, what was the next one?
Morgan. Morgen.
A Morgan is how many Morgans of fire whiskey have you drunk? It is obviously sponsored by Captain Morgan's.
No,
they've
it's
sponsored this.
Gen. Cambo.
Yeah, they spelled it differently because otherwise there was some kind of like lawsuit about can a company own a unit
All
of
the Morgans
measurement
in the world. Yeah. Like, can Cadbury own the color purple? Or
Exactly.
stuff like that?
Yeah, they wanted to avoid that.
Yes, but it could also be the amount of land that could be plowed in a morning's time.
Oh, is that how they use it?
They're so interesting.
So that's a Morgan.
I do find that so fascinating that somebody's like, oh, I reckon I could get 3 Morgan. It's about 3 Morgans worth.
I will say there's 2 possibilities with this podnapping. Either Liz had a lot of faith in us that we might know some of these, in which case, like, thank you very much for the vote of confidence. Or it's going exactly as Liz planned and we look like fools by not knowing any of these.
Yeah, probably. Okay, next one is shake.
A shake. How it's spelled the regular way?
Yep.
Well, if someone will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, that's time. So it's a quick amount of time.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. I'll give that to you. It's time measurement, and it's 10 nanoseconds. I'm not sure if that's meant to be nanoseconds. Is nanoseconds a thing? Let me bing this. No, it was meant to be nanoseconds.
It's just a typo. Okay.
Typo. Okay, never mind. Okay. Galactic year.
A galactic year. Okay. What would a galactic year be? It must be the rotation of the galaxy around something. I guess the central point of the galaxy. How long it takes a galaxy to do a whole rotation?
That is, I mean, I'll basically like give it, I feel like kind of, yeah. Like time to orbit the center of the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Which is 225 million Earth years.
Yeah, that would make
but
sense.
Yeah,
Galaxy's
it's like galactic, like galaxy.
Yeah. Because I'm sure people know this, but just in case, an Earth year is how long it takes for us to rotate the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense that a galactic year would be the galaxy rotating something, and galaxies normally have a dense central point. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you explained to people what 1 year.
Well, Nelson, just in case.
I can't imagine. Hey, write in if you didn't know what.
Also, I know that you think the sun goes up and then goes down and the moon goes up.
Guys, you're not going to believe this.
We're actually rotating.
Especially the people who didn't know what a year was.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
This
It's going to blow your mind.
I know the sun and the moon look roughly the same size in the sky. I understand that.
Yeah.
Sun's massive. Way bigger. It's just, and I know what you're thinking. It doesn't look bigger. It's further away.
Wow. Okay. Oh my God. This one is Hitler.
Oh
my God. I'm going to say this is like a colloquial term, and I'll give you a clue. It relates to Hitler.
Is it like measurement of authoritarian regime takeover?
No. Worse, I want to say.
Oh, like Holocaust adjacent?
Yeah.
Is it like measurement of people killed in atrocities and genocides or something?
Like kind of. It's an amount of people. It's 6 million people.
Oh, wow. That's, can't be real.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be some sort of...
Like, I understand that you can say he killed a Hitler's worth. I understand that as a thing, but you shouldn't. Wildly offensive.
I'm guessing this is...
and 2, like, if you go over, is it not a Hitler's anymore?
Well, it's a Hitler and a half or something.
Oh, God.
3 Hitlers about.
Yeah, all right.
18 million people. Okay. Chad.
A Chad.
Yeah, okay.
Measurement of...
Let's go with like colloquial people like kind of making stuff up. What do you think a Chad might be?
A Chad is like a stereotypical like gym bro, alpha male type.
Yeah.
So a measurement of Chad...
You're so very close.
Is it to do with the gym? No, okay.
Quite,
to do with masculinity in some way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Penis size.
Yeah. The amount of big dick energy someone or something has. Whoa, he's reading at 8 chats. Okay. Diddy. This, I think we've gone back to maybe legitimate measurement. Yeah.
Now,
it does not relate to
Diddy, to me, look, it's musical related, but not in the way you think. Because obviously, there's the sex criminal.
Yeah.
But often a songwriter would say, I wrote a little ditty about this.
Yeah.
And they'll sing a song.
Yeah.
So is ditty the measurement of like the length of a song?
It has here 1,000 of any single item.
Is it ditty?
Yep. I did just chat GPT it and it was like, nope.
Okay.
That's not a thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I'm on the fly doing this, but
you're quite sick.
Yeah, it had a few things. It came up with like nickname, slang can mean small or insignificant. There's a song, Diddy Kong, and then I said, "Is there a measurement?" And it said, "No." Anyway, but I still like, I feel like that we can use it in a slang way. We've now got a way that we can. Well, it's like the word. I use this all the time. I use this. And I actually have sort of stopped using it because I don't like having to explain it to people. But the collective word of nieces and nephews, I say neplings, which I heard one day. It was like, but it's not an official term. But I love it as a like, because I'm also often saying my niece and nephews and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's just so much easier to say my neplings.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's one of those things, a ditty is 1,000 of any single item. It's just not in the dictionary.
Is this in any way related to the amount of baby oil that was seized from Diddy's house? Is this an Urban Dictionary thing? Because there was a lot of it seized.
How many baby oils were seized from Diddy's house? Oh, it does say over 1,000 bottles. Oh my God, is that it?
It could be.
Okay, we've cracked it. They said over 1,000 bottles.
Yeah, not 1,000. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, that's good. All right, the last one is beard second.
A beard second is
last one. Sorry, beard second.
Is that how long it takes for a piece of hair on your face to grow?
Kind of, yeah. Okay, so unit inspired by the light year, but for extremely short distances. A beard second is defined as the length of an average physicist's beard grows in a second, about 5 nanometers.
Okay.
Nanometers, sorry. Okay, last one. Bee's dick.
The bee's dick is a very small measurement. You might miss something by that.
I've actually it just says here Cambo. I don't know. That's what I've got.
Can you check that again just to make sure?
Let me chat GPT it.
Yeah. Does Cambo have a bee's dick?
It says Cambo.
Oh, okay, well, fair enough then.
I didn't even give it any context. I just typed bee's dick and it came back with Cambo.
You know what, though? What you've done there is you've done a peer review, and that's good. It's good that now we can quantify.
We've checked it. All right. That's it. Thank you for sending me that, Liz. Much appreciated. Best listener, but
currently.
Honestly, it's already started to like traject downwards. Like you're up there, but you're falling already.
Until the other podnapping that's in our inbox comes out, which has all been said by Liz.
Until we read that one, and you're up at the top.
Right back up, baby.
Yeah. It's a real, nothing can it's really hard to keep you aloft, basically. Anywho, if you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at our Discord. The link is in the show notes, and our subreddit. Also, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe.
Yes.
And rate the show, I suppose. Only good.
Yeah, only good. Yeah, sorry. That goes without saying. But we should say it. We should give us 5 stars. Even if you don't feel that in your heart.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for listening. And we will read you later.
Bye.